Okay, so that takes care of our neutrons. Our protons are always the same. The proton number stays the same. Protons are always in the nucleus. If it's lithium, it can only ever have 3 protons. That can't change at all. But our electrons are a whole nother story. So we're going to take a minute, we're going to get this erased, and we're going to talk about our electrons. Okay, so this time we're going to draw a sodium ion. And what I'd like you guys to do is find a periodic table in your book. The periodic table in your book is on page A42. So I'd like to make sure that you guys have all made your way over to this section and you're looking at your periodic table. So we're going to look at sodium, and sodium has 11 protons. We can tell that because you can see the little 11 at the top of the sodium. So we're going to start by drawing a standard neutral sodium atom. Remember that standard and neutral mean that I have 11 protons, 11 neutrons, and 11 electrons. So we're going to start like that. 8, 9, 10, 11 neutrons, and then we need to draw 11 electrons. So when we draw electrons, we start with our middle ring. The middle ring can always have 2. So our innermost ring has 2, and then every electron ring outside of that can have up to 8 before we move on. So that's 2, and then on the next one, we draw 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for a total of 10 electrons, but we don't need 10 electrons, we need 11 electrons, so I'm going to put one more up here. This is a standard neutral sodium. That was a pain to draw. We won't do it a whole bunch of times, but it is something that you should have drawn in your notes. You should have drawn at least one standard neutral electron because it helps your brain to process what we mean by the protons, the neutrons, and the electrons. Okay, so here's the deal. Every atom wants to have 8, only 8, and exactly 8 electrons in what we call its valence shell. The valence shell is the outermost shell of the atom. So in this case, this sodium has one electron in its valence shell. So imagine that your whole world would be perfect if you could get rid of just one thing. One chair, one pillow, one toy. There's one extra thing in your house, in your room, in your life that's keeping you from feeling perfect. How would you get rid of that one thing? I hope you say you would give it away, right? Just give that thing away. And so what sodium is going to do is sodium is going to, for free, curb alert, right? I don't know if you've ever seen that on like Craigslist or something. Curb alert, get rid of this one electron. So sodium is going to want to do that. It's going to want to get rid of this one electron. And when it does that, lo and behold, sodium ends up with exactly 8 electrons in its valence shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But sodium also ends up now with 11 positive charges and only 10 negative charges because it gave away one of its negative charges. And so altogether, sodium ends up, if it has 11 positives and 10 negatives, if you picture that on a number line, if we are at 0 and we go forward 11 and then we go back 10, it ends up at positive 1. Okay, its charge ends up as positive 1. So this element has now formed the ion Na+. That is the ion that it forms. And it does that because of how it feels about the electrons in its valence shell. So we say that the closer to a nucleus the electron is, the more stable it is. So if it's going to get rid of an electron, it's going to get rid of its unstable outermost electrons. Okay, so as we start in the center and we work our way out, these inner electrons, which are sometimes called the kernel, but that's a chemistry thing, these inner electrons are the most stable. As we get further towards the outside, we get these really high energy electrons that we're very willing to give away if we can. And atoms are most stable when they have exactly 8 in their valence shell. So sodium is going to be very, very willing to get rid of that one electron to become Na+. So you might be wondering, who would be collecting this extra electron, right? Who would want to even be collecting that? So what we're going to look at fluorine. It doesn't take long to realize that drawing whole atoms is really, really frustrating. So what we're going to do is for fluorine, it has 9 protons, neutrons, and electrons. So what I'm going to do for fluorine is I'm going to put 9 plus to indicate my 9 protons. I hope you guys will follow along with that with me. I hope that makes you as happy as it makes me to be done drawing all of those pluses and zeros. And I'm going to say 9 neutrons. There's my nucleus. And then I need to put 9 electrons around the outside. So remember, we first put 2 in the center. Quick reminder that we're looking at fluorine here. 2 in the center, and then I can put up to 9 on the shelf. So, or up to 8. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's how many total electrons I have. And what I notice here is that I have an empty spot. This empty spot makes fluorine feel sad. All it really wants in life is to fill that valence electron. Now, fluorine could, curve alert, say I have 7 electrons if anyone wants to come get them. But that is a hard sell to try to get someone to come get all 7 of those electrons. So instead, what fluorine is going to do is it's going to be watching for a sale. It's going to be watching who's going to sell an electron, who's giving away an electron right now. What atom do you already know that wants to get rid of an electron? Sodium. Sodium wants to get rid of the electron. So if we think about this setup, what we have over here is we have our good old sodium with its 11 protons and its 11 neutrons. This is a standard neutral sodium. And remember, it has 2 and then 8 in its kernel for 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it has the 11th one out here. And here is a good setup, right? This is like a really good situation for both of these guys. What's going to happen is sodium is going to give this electron to fluorine. That's going to give fluorine an extra electron, and every time you get an extra electron, you become negative. So fluorine becomes F minus, minus because it has 1 extra electron, and sodium becomes Na plus, plus because it has lost 1 electron or given away 1 electron. So an atom that wants to give away an electron gets a positive charge, and an atom that wants to gain an electron gets a negative charge. And so I'm going to add 1 more piece to this, but first I'm going to erase this. So we're now comparing Na plus and F minus. So Na plus has lost an electron. Remember that electrons are negative in charge, so when you lose an electron, you become positive. And the term for an atom that has lost an electron and become positive is called a cation. This is a compound word, like cat and ion. T-I-O-N in the English language says shun, so I have students that always want to call this a cation. That's not right, okay? It's a cat ion. So we have a cat ion here, and F minus has gained an electron, so it becomes negative because electrons are negative. So when you gain negative, you become negative. and that is called an anion. And again, this is a compound thing. An anion, not an anion, like an onion. Okay, an anion. So we have cations and we have anions. And what I want to do for a quick second is explain to you how you can remember the difference. So there are two ways that I think of remembering this. The first one is that you can see how I draw my T. Doesn't it look like a little plus sign? So my cation is positive, positive ions are cations. Another thing that a student told me once is that cat have paws, like positive, right? Cats have paws, get it? Okay, so that's another way that you can remember it. And then the other one is anions, and those are negative. So cations are positive and anions are negative. Also add to your memory that cations are positive because they have lost electrons, and anions are negative because they have gained electrons. And the big key to that is to remember that electrons are negative. I personally think that all of this makes a whole lot of sense as long as you remember that electrons are negative. Okay, so we're going to stop here today. We're going to talk about this in class, and then we'll continue on with how these electrons can help to form bonds.